my rum adventure began about 10 years ago as I was a student studying a master's degree into international business and entrepreneurship. And I decided that finalizing my master's degree, I would write a thesis about something that I love, that I'm passionate about, and that would eventually get me to reach my dream job. So I started writing about export opportunities on the French rum market. And I presented my work to some producers, and I eventually was offered my dream job, working as an export manager for Spiribam, working on developing the rum agricole world in Europe. So Rum Crémois and Rum GN back in the days. And since then, it's about now 3 years and a half. I've switched from a corporate world to working with independent family-owned businesses, rum producers, of which I act as an export consultant, so working as an externalized export director, accompanying them onto their logistical, commercial, and marketing mission onto the European market, and to tackle, let's say, the international development of their business.
Okay. Paranubes is a great Mexican distillate because it's admiration for. How do you see the brand developing in the future?
The world of rum is an absolute dynamism that is so rich, and the culture of rum and the culture of the sugarcane spirit is so rich that there is a huge space for Mexican rum. Today I work with a Venezuelan rum from Ron Carupano from Venezuela, also work with a cachaça from Brazil, also cachaça Magnifica de Faria, and Paranubes as a Mexican rum. And all of these brands have a real complementary role within the market, still being independent and family-owned producers. For the case of Mexican rum, there's a real opportunity which is very interesting in the sense that it's in the crossroads of two beautiful categories of spirits, of which the first one, of course, sugarcane spirits category, the rum category, but also coming in the crossroads of the Mexican spirits category and family. So Paranubes follows a big philosophy of this raw material that is being put forward in the Mexican traditional spirits, starting with agaves. We know Mexico for the agave spirits, but the whole philosophy behind highlighting a terroir, highlighting a variety of agave, or highlighting a variety of sugarcane in the case of Paranubes, the way that we will process the raw material, the way that we will be distilling and giving the full profile of the raw material into a spirit is the philosophy of Paranubes, which has a big, let's say, potential within the rum market. Working with Paranubes and working on developing Paranubes, specifically with tools such as single varieties. So we have the Caña Morada, which is a single variety of the 4 sugarcanes used in Paranubes Blanco. We will be releasing on the second side of the year another single variety, Caña Criolla. And all of those raw materials that are being highlighted and that put the magic into the glass make a real beautiful educational tool. Coming with the whole universe of Mexican spirits and putting in the work for the rum category to highlight what makes rum so beautiful. It's raw material, the sugarcane, and making understand the whole consumers and professionals alike that sugarcanes are to be considered just the same ways as grapes, cepage for the wine. So this idea of working the sugarcane and highlighting the flavor profiles of the sugarcane is a real mission that Paranubes has today. And I believe there's a great potential for the brand onto the Polish market and European-wise as well.
Okay, you say Mexico, I mean tequila. How is the rum market in Mexico? Mexico.
So, absolutely. So Mexico, yeah, absolutely. So basically we know Mexico for the agave, the tequila, the mezcal now. It's been about 15, 20 years that mezcal has been growing steady onto the whole international markets. Rum, and specifically aguardiente de caña, so traditional, artisanal, pure sugarcane juice-based rums in Mexico are still considered probably the same way as mezcal was considered about 25 years ago in Mexico. So it's not a spirit that is highly regarded, but there is education going on, and there is let's say, a conscience about the rich potential that has the Aguardiente de Caña segment and category in Mexico that is starting to pick up. So as of today, the Aguardiente de Caña business in Mexico is not big, it's very discreet, but it's growing, and this is something that Paranubes has a real role into fueling international markets, gaining in recognition internationally, that will always help also for local pride. That local pride will help a lot the whole segment of Aguardiente de Caña category in Mexico. Now, speaking of Aguardiente de Caña category as a separate than what we know about the rum category in Mexico, which Mexico is a big sugarcane producer, is a big rum producer, but we know a lot of the industrial rums. We only start to see more artisanal, traditionally produced sugarcane spirits in Mexico that are very recent, in a sense, economically speaking. So I would say, to answer your question, the rum market for Aguardiente de Caña in Mexico is probably where the mezcal production and the mezcal market was about 20, 25 years ago. And we'll only get into a beautiful direction for Aguardiente de Caña as the next hot stuff from Mexico.
Okay. Last question. How do you like the Rum Love Festival in Poland?
I love it. I love it. It's a real party. The place is really good. My first time in Poland, my first time in Wrocław, first time in Rum Love Festival, believe it or not, and I'm super happy, very impressed by the whole organization. Beautiful people asking questions, smart questions about the spirits. The whole community, from bartenders, consumers alike, the rum community is a beautiful one here in Poland, and it's only been a pleasure sharing the love of Paranubes and Magnifica and Carupano along with all the people visiting us over those 2 days.